Stigmata. Dylan, you said you were going to dip your nuts in soy sauce, right?
No thanks.
No? What about you, Morgan?
I don't really understand the trends. I really don't.
I'm too old to understand any of the trends. Like, hey, let me just dump some ice water on me, while my balls are in some soy sauce, and then I'll light myself on fire.
While snorting a condom?
Hopefully not used.
Ugh.
Or are you snorting a Tide Pod?
Tide Pod. It has to be new. Or used condom, either one.
Oh, Jesus. This went downhill really quick.
Yeah. I hope you guys didn't want subscribers.
Our parents going to be listening to this, right?
Whatever. My dad's always disappointed in us anyway.
Oh.
Mine says worse.
Alright, let's leave our daddy issues out of this show.
Oh, but my daddy issues are why I married Tony.
Hey. Oh, sweet Jeebus. We may need to start over.
And this
That
is
train
why
went
I
off the
don't
tracks
talk.
early. Well, I'm not shocked. Anything's possible
Either
in
am I, and
2020.
it's good content.
I feel judged.
Not judged, just used.
Did you say not judged, just used?
Just a little bit.
This is fucking terrible. Oh, are we not supposed to swear on this? I really hope we're...
That's
allowed
not
to
the thing.
fucking
We can
swear.
say whatever the fuck we want as long as
Yeah,
it's
we just
not...
won't get, monetized. We're not going to
You
get
can't say
sponsors,
bad things, yeah.
Well,
I really wasn't looking for sponsors anyways. If anybody wants to sponsor us, they can. It'd be nice.
Fuck your sponsors.
Oh, no. We love our not yet sponsors.
love all of them. I don't think we're going to get Tide Pods, though.
Probably not.
Or condoms.
I'll lick your Tide Pod.
No, we might get condoms. They do
This
some
is-
shady
that's
shit. Ribbed condoms, yeah. That's for pleasure.
No.
That's to make them pop.
No, what you do is you get the rib for her pleasure and then flip it inside out.
No,
Why is it for her pleasure? What about my fucking
That's
pleasure?
the thing, it's gonna pop. You're gonna have more
Look,
kids.
here's the
Pop,
thing.
go to Weasel.
If you
They're
don't
like
do shit
population
for her
control.
pleasure, then it's all for your pleasure anyway. Fuckface.
Well, moving on. Donnie, you were complaining about the 5-cent plastic bag.
That's fucking bullshit. No, they're getting rid of all the plastic bags.
Oh,
in
Well,
New
start
York
saving
State.
them.
did you know that in New York State, or actually in Hawaii, it's 10% lower cost of living than in New York?
Yeah, so while
So
we're
we
here
can
in this
live in
frozen...
a tropical paradise.
Yeah, instead of this frozen fucking tundra, I call Ha.
I like this place.
I call off. What is that?
What's
the
the
ice planet in
internal
Star
temperature
Wars.
of a tauntaun?
Lukewarm.
I don't know
Lukewarm.
how I didn't know that.
Guess I'm the bigger Star Wars nerd.
Equipped with Star Wars jokes and all. This is very fresh and hip news coming at you.
As soon as it comes in, it's coming
What,
right
we
at you.
break a hip? Like,
We're not that old yet.
Yeah, anyway, they're getting rid of plastic bags, which they call single-use bags, which I call bullshit because I use it for everything.
You
know,
just save them so you can go shopping with
Yeah,
them.
well, yeah.
That too. Like I'm not gonna actually buy a bag just to put in that little ass fucking trash can in the bathroom. Like, where do you find a bag that small?
You can buy them.
Buy their
Dollar
4-gallon trash bags.
4-gallon trash bag?
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Grocery bag works just as good.
Grocery
Yep.
bags are wonderful for that.
Oh yeah.
Oh. The only thing I have to say about the whole thing is that plastic, what we've been using as plastic is like all the fossil fuels and all that stuff that goes into it. Takes forever to biodegrade and all that other stuff. Hemp is the way to go. Hemp, you can make plastic stuff out of hemp. You can make plastic bags out of hemp. And it probably cost a little bit more, but it biodegrades in like 2 years or something like that. I don't know. You could look that up if you wanted to fact check me. But
they will.
It's pretty.
It's the internet. They'll fact check you.
Well, I didn't know if the man with the mouse was.
Snoop's like a motherfucker.
Well, the problem is with the plastic bag ban is what they're using to replace it is either paper bags, which they'll charge you 5 cents a piece for,
Then go
which
fuck themselves.
whatever, or they use the reusable bags, which, if you research it, actually cost more money and leaves more of a carbon footprint to make than a single-use plastic bag. For them to be viable, you would have to use it, I think it was around 120 times
Something
for
like that.
one bag to replace a plastic bag and actually save the environment.
Well, listen,
'Cause
I'm
Anna,
all
she
for.
looked it up.
I'm all for them changing our plastics to more eco-friendly plastics. Like, but the options are out there. What bothers me is they're just like, oh, we're gonna ban all plastic because the fossil fuel industry said if we can't get the money, then nobody can. I mean, that's essentially the problem here. Is like Hannah was saying, growing and harvesting trees for paper isn't any more eco-friendly than a plastic bag. I mean, they degrade faster, but you're killing
harm to the environment.
for every box of paper bags they get out there, it's half a tree, you know.
But nobody gives a fuck about the trees.
Fucking Kumo.
Call me the fucking Lorax. What do you guys think about the bail reform?
Garbage.
Oh, jeez.
Ugh.
I love how the
I get like if you wanted to changing the rules for bail, as in like, you know, for these minor offenses, somebody who's poor ends up staying in jail because they don't have the money for bail.
Yeah.
I understand for very small offenses, but when you talk about all these crazy things like some guy killed his like 6-week-old kid down near Albany somewhere.
Yep.
And he got right back out. There's all these repeat offender stories I see. Like a woman got arrested 3 times today or yesterday, recently. 3 times in the same day. And it was all over. Like if she would have stayed in, then none of that stuff would have happened. There's a reason why that was something in the first place, you know, like you don't want people just popping out of jail. There was one guy who like called in some sort of threat to somewhere, and they released him, and he showed up at the school afterwards. I think it was like a private school or something like that. But he showed up at the school afterwards the same day because there was if he would have been put in jail, it would have taken at least a day or 2 before he could see the judge that set bail. But no, we're just gonna pop him right in.
But
at least let him wait until the judge can see them about the whole bail thing. Because now it's just like it's like a catch and release thing. It's like handing somebody a ticket, except for it's got a warrant attached to it because you got to show up to court. You know.
It's
crazy.
Excuse me.
I'm not saying that I can't see where the idea started from. I always try to look at everything from both sides of things, so that way I can kind of try to grasp what they're trying to do. You know.
No, I get that, and I think for some things it could work well, but
where do you draw the line?
The crime rate since this new bail reform has
crazy.
happened has skyrocketed.
Yeah.
And it's because everyone's being released.
Well, here's the thing, though, is that I can see why, you know, those numbers, those very recent numbers, could simmer down once they get back to court. You know,
yes.
once they actually show up to court, and then there is stiff consequences for their actions, then maybe they'll learn. But the problem is the in-between. What is that person going to be on the in-between? You know, how are they going to act? I mean, if they're, who knows? I mean, if they're all...
I mean, if it's a kid who got arrested on, like, a pot charge, I get it. Sitting in jail is not necessarily the answer.
Oh, because some teenager has, like, a bag of weed, you know?
But that's simple. I mean, that's a simple fix as far as, like, when they were writing the bill, what was going through their head? They say nonviolent crimes, but like I said, nonviolent crimes, they can extend it out, and they don't always, supposedly, it was supposed to be anything under manslaughter and down was this whole bail reform thing.
Yes, but
so as long as you didn't go plan a murder, then you'd be let out.
Yes, but
with an appearance ticket.
But people who are arrested on gun charges are immediately released, as long as they didn't shoot anybody. You know, like people who have raped somebody are immediately released.
It's fucking
like,
seriously?
Yes.
That is fucking
awful.
crazy. How does this guy keep getting elected? Oh wait,
New
all
York
the
City.
criminals he's letting out.
It's
That's
New
why.
York City. New York
Well,
City
it's
elects
like
him
how
every
he-
time. It's absolutely ridiculous. 95% of the state doesn't vote for the guy. Literally, it's just he's got the city and he could care less about anything else. They toss a few million up north every few years and try to make themselves feel good about it. Like, oh, we got a business to put in roots there so they can leave in 6 months. You know,
They also...
we got way off topic from the bags, didn't we?
Yes.
Like, we went to bail reform.
This is good.
I think they, well, I mean, obviously a lot of people drop the ball. You know, that's a thing with these big bodies like this. We've for some reason all of them have just been like, okay, now I'm a Republican, so I just vote Republican unless it's absolutely ridiculous, in which case someone will let me know that it's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, it's just laziness on the part of our elected officials. Like they get plenty of vacation days a year to relax. I know lots of people who do 9 to 5 every single day of the week, pull extra hours, and they don't get all those days off. They're not getting, 6 weeks off in winter and some time off in summer and a bunch of time. Well, part of it is they're allowed like a certain amount of days where they can go home and be campaigning.
Yes.
Which can just be planning. It's basically just like sitting around the house, maybe going to the golf course 5 to 12 times, whatever floats your boat.
Vote for me. Whack.
Like, honestly, out there, we just need to get together and elect some average, everyday people. And the American public is able to discern things as long as they're not in that groupthink mind. That's what kills them. Like, if you're you get so blistered by one party that you shove yourself farther into, like, I mean, that's what's going on with the Democrats. I mean,
okay.
His brain just hurts.
So
we're going way off the rails. I apologize.
So here's a list of, as of January 1st, 2020, a defendant must be released from custody without bail for the following crimes: manslaughter in the second degree, aggravated vehicular homicide. So if you're drunk driving and you kill somebody at the wheel, you can be immediately released from jail.
Not
without
even
any
drunk
bail.
tank. Like,
Yeah.
like this is the crazy part. Is like, we're just shipping them out, lining them up, shipping them out,
Making a terroristic threat.
Yep. So that way you have time to go home.
And actually make the explosives.
It's stupid.
Criminal possession of a gun on school grounds, or criminal possession of a firearm. So you can go to school with a gun and be immediately released from jail that day.
Well, that's something that happened earlier. I don't know, this week, last week. It happened recently where this guy made threats on the school, and then they let him out, and next thing you know, he showed up at the school. Like, it doesn't take a genius.
Criminal sale of a firearm to a minor.
Oh, so you can sell a gun to a kid, you'll be out the same day to sell another gun to a kid. That's great.
Arson in the third or fourth degree.
Oh, that's
Well-
fucking great.
Well,
Shit,
Burn down
I'm
something
not.
and then you get to come
No,
right
I'm
back
not
out
sure.
to do it
That's
again.
probably considered non-violent because of the
Third or fourth.
third or fourth. I'm
Yeah.
not sure, but I would say that nobody was there. That was like one of those things where they were trying to do
Yeah.
some fraudulent insurance scam
Yeah.
type of. Like, my business isn't doing well. I need the insurance money, and I'm going to Boca.
Money laundering in support of terrorism in the third or fourth degree.
We promised not to bring up Hillary Clinton. None of us are planning suicide. Just jump on that right now.
We
We're all
are
happy with
all
our life.
happy and in a
Happy.
great mental health state for the most part.
Well, I won't go
I'm
that
not.
far,
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
We
But I'm
have
not gonna
no
commit suicide.
outward plans of suicide in any way, shape, or form. Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Clinton.
I want to live.
It's not just the
Fuck that.
Clintons, okay? If you think it's just the Clintons,
I
then-
know it's not.
What was that about? I don't even know what the fuck that is.
Epstein didn't kill himself.
Oh, jeez. Well, that's
Oh, what are you
All-
thinking?
that's
they're
not
gonna
just the
come
Clintons.
And, no,
All those-
the
fuck
Clintons.
them.
The Clintons, since back in his Arkansas governorship days, have had like missing
gone
people
missing.
for no reason, and it's like whoa, you know, like I always wondered like how that many coincidences isn't investigated, like, because you know it's like the whole OJ thing, you know, there were so many people that were for and against and all this other stuff. It's like you get this big huge split divide of like, you know, you feel for the person or you don't feel for the person, but it's like at this point you know that something hinky is going on, you know.
I just have to say, I think that, you know, instead of separating off LA like they did in Escape from LA, we should just send all the criminals to New York and
If we just move
just
out.
separate it all. Like, New York is the new Australia.
But-
No offense, we love Australians.
Yes, prayers go out to Australia because
Old
of the fire.
Australia, a long time ago.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
That's
I
a
was
long
talking
time
in
ago.
the historical sense.
Wrong time to bring that up, huh?
Yeah, that's okay though.
Love you, Australia. I want to go feed koalas.
If anybody wants to send
I don't
money to
want-
Australia, go right ahead.
I don't agree with airdropping food, though. I mean,
It's burning. It was burning, so dropping food on.
Yeah, imagine a carrot falling down like 100 miles an hour hitting you in the head.
Did they think of dropping water?
Oh, actually, yeah, it sounds
No.
kind of smart, but you know, I don't know. There's
yes,
some-
they have been dropping
No,
water on the
the
fire.
Australia fires thing
No,
is
what-
crazy though
what they
because
need-
like
what
it's
they
creating its own weather and stuff now. Well, I mean, my information is days old, so
What they need to do is
I'm
they
not
need
sure.
to get a bunch of drunk Australians and just piss out the fire.
That's not gonna work. It's huge. I did
Have
see.
you ever pissed
No,
when you're
but
drunk?
look-
I
That's a
did see
lot of
an
piss.
interesting. I did see an interesting article though the other day that showed the new high-speed train. The tracks that is where it's supposed to
Yeah,
be.
is
The line is supposed
exactly
to be. Is
where it's
exactly
burning.
where it's all burning.
Yeah.
Is like this high-speed rail that's supposed to go from
There's
one
a
city to
whole
the next. It's almost.
conspiracy that it was specifically targeted.
I don't know. Either
Maybe
way,
a guy on the train flipped out a cigarette.
No,
either way, it's awful.
No,
It's
they've
awful
been
either way.
trying
It's
to
terrible.
get permission to clear land to build this high-speed train,
Oh.
but there hasn't been any permissions granted, and then all of a sudden, boom,
It's pretty crazy.
Australia's on fire.
Wow. That's nuts.
Yeah, so there's this whole conspiracy that, you know,
I can't blame him. You know, I look at a good conspiracy probably more than most. You know, but I gotta think that even if it was an intentional thing at first, you know, nobody wanted it to go like this. This is outrageous. You know, there's only so much of Australia that people actually live in,
Yeah.
and it's all along the coast, and that's where the fires are.
Which I don't understand. How do they go along the coast when there's so much? I don't know. It's not. There's a lot of woods to it, really. So why did it hit mostly the coast? That wouldn't make any sense. To
Well, I think, as far as I know, that's where the biggest forest is, like, all along there. Is all along that coast. I'm not
Oh,
100%
that's kinda-
on that.
huh.
I'm not up on Australia Australian geography, but
If anyone wants to send us plane tickets to Australia so we could get more up to date on
The situation.
situation,
We have
or
a video camera. We can record it for you.
or on the geography of Australia, we would love to come and visit y'all.
Yes, you'll get the news live from us.
Why are you shaking your head, Dylan?
because it's like talking about trains and we went off the tracks.
Derailed.
Oh, we were derailed a long time ago, sir.
Hashtag derail.
Oh, great hashtags.
Hashtag not my governor.
Oh, God.
Fucking Kumo again.
Cuomo.
Oh, and Morgan just pulled this up on the internet about the pre-registration for 16 and 17-year-olds.
Yes,
that's
that's
fucking lovely.
actually on the DMV.
Well, the pre-registration, I have no. Listen, as long as they're not changing the voting age, they're just.
No, they're trying to change the voting age.
They might be trying to, but I think the whole thing's crazy. Like, you
mean,
can't smoke until you're 21, but you can do everything else at 16.
Right? You can decide who rules over you at 16, but you're not smart enough to decide where you want to put something into.
No,
your
you're
body.
not allowed to vote on your on your card, because you get a voter's card. It says
Yeah, but he's saying that's a long
pre-registered.
game.
Yeah, I know
Yeah.
it's a long game, but
Who knows?
And that's why so many people are leaving the state of New York.
Yeah, New York is in. People are voting with their feet. If you're familiar with that phrase, I love you. And
I'm not. Please explain.
somebody votes with their feet. It's mostly from.
Maybe it's the elite.
It's mostly from long time ago when the states were new and everything else, and before we had laws that were hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of laws that are all half defunct and everything else. Anyway, yeah. So when you vote with your feet, it means that you get up and you move, and you're giving your all of your buying power and so on and so forth. All of your because we the voters, the people, are actually what empower our governments, our state,
although
local,
our government does not
everything.
like us to believe that.
Yeah, if you so if you vote with your feet, if you don't like a law that's in your county, voting with your feet, picking up and moving, it's a huge slap in the face to the government. It's like whatever's going on in this county, this state, whatever it is enough to drive people away. And I know New York's been bad for business essentially for years and years, and
since Kumo was in office.
Well, they tried. He did a little work trying to. Well, I don't know if it was him or the regional senators and all that stuff. But we up here got huge grants and stuff for business. But I mean, we have a lot of.
And when it says up here, it means upstate New York, and I don't mean fucking Albany.
They're
I mean,
actually voting.
They're very top.
No,
tip
they're
of
not
New York.
actually voting.
It's
I was just at the DMV the other day, and I read the form. They are not allowed to vote, and if they try to go vote, it has a thing specifically stated on the card that they're not allowed to vote in the election.
Well, they could do the whole Chicago thing where people who've been dead for 10 years are voting.
Yeah.
Most people blame the Democrats. I'm not going to say that because I think the Republicans are just as shady as the Democrats.
The Democrats probably just the ones that got caught doing it.
Exactly.
I think there's a lot of younger politicians right now that have their finger on the pulse of the young people, telling them that we want to get away from these
Shady motherfuckers.
aristocratic politicians that are from the high society and don't represent the people.
common
They
man.
want more grassroots people.
So anyway, there's a lot of good people out there right now. Tulsi Gabbard, she was running for president, and I know she wasn't part of the last debate. I don't know if she's officially dropped out yet, but she was one. And I think still will be one, because I don't think people are just going to forget about her. She's still a senator from Ohio or Hawaii and all that good stuff. But she just wants what's best for her
country.
constituents. You know, the actual constituency. That's
See, I'm between her and Dan Berman myself.
well, you know, it's
Berman
you talk
is-
about
Berman,
you talk
yes.
about extremes though. I mean, that's the thing is like you know we talked about it a dozen times. You know, the crazier the Republicans get, the crazier the Democrats get, and it's at an unreal place because the people in the middle ground are getting shot from both sides right away, and I think they're most representative of the actual people en masse.
Yeah.
I mean, for the record, I don't agree with a lot of what Bernie says, but I feel like he's a more honest person than I think he is. I think he means well for the people. I'm not gonna.
I'm sorry. Like I hate to interrupt you, but like I feel like if
I've seen what he's done with Vermont.
I feel like if you care much about the poor people as much as he said he does.
Yeah, but we
He
talked.
wouldn't have like 3 houses. He'd have like 1 house, maybe a beach house.
Okay.
And the rest of the money he
He's
has
not-
on the 3rd house, he could have like donated to like an organization.
You're gonna make
or
me-
a homeless shelter.
You're gonna make me like. I'm not trying to jump on the Bernie wagon.
Oh,
over
okay,
here.
don't tell you're a fucking Bernie bro.
No, I'm not going to jump on the Bernie wagon here, but with Vermont, we talked about New York and how people are voting with their feet. People are leaving New York, all that stuff. People are going to Vermont, you know, and part of that is what he's done. What I like about him is he's not anti, you know, your Second Amendment. He's always been, you know, pro hunting and everything else. I don't agree with a lot of like his whole huge spending policies of like giving away everything for free, but the sentiment that he wants to somehow get our financial house in better working order for the common man, making it more even.
Yeah, I feel like I have the same concerns as he does. I feel like there are better ways to approach it.
Exactly.
Now, there's one thing I read in the news a couple years ago, probably more than a couple years ago. I did agree with him on. In fact, I think it was him, and I believe it was Rand Paul, who were trying to make it to where we could get cheaper medication in from Canada, and that did not go well.
Well, I mean, living up here, I remember going to Canada with Graham and Pa and them getting their medication over there back before, you know, all the rules changed and...
Well, Bernie used to pack buses full of seniors and drive them over the border to go get medicine and then come back. And that was, the rules have changed and everything else, but that's going to get me onto a huge topic about how insurance and all that other stuff, insurance and the way our economy is run is shaped by and for the multi-millionaire class. I'm not talking about, you know, somebody who, you know, has a small business and has got a worth more than $1 million because they have a business and stuff. I'm talking about the people who have just like all that crazy throwaway money that, you know, it's just not necessary. Once somebody, if you have $1 billion, you're just part of this huge problem that we have with the income disparity. Anyway, I'm not gonna dive into that because
That's a rabbit hole for another
that's
podcast.
oh my goodness, yes. Anyway, what do you want to talk about? What's on your mind today, Morgan?
Crickets.
Well, what
Like
video
Jiminy
games have
or-
you been playing?
Modern Warfare a lot.
I'll ask her. I can't get
No.
away from Pokemon Sword.
That's so Modern Warfare. That's the new one that's out.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, how do you like it?
It's good, just a lot of glitches.
Is that going to be one of those things they actually fix, or is that going to?
Probably not.
That's the problem. I
There's
hate that
people
about
shooting
it.
you through fucking walls and you can't do anything about it. At this
I
point.
heard about this. It's all mods and stuff.
Not just mods. If somebody has FMJ on and they're lucky enough to have a higher ping or whatever's going on with their internet, they can actually just shoot through certain parts of any map and actually get you. And I know that's common in most of the video games, but if it's through metal and like 6 or 7 plates of metal, usually it doesn't do so.
I know
Because
that
it can't.
I know that there's people that are using these mods that should be banned, but they're hard to detect because they only allow certain, like, small, like being able to see through walls. It's such a small thing that it's hard for them to detect. This is what I was told.
People have something, I used to look it up because it pissed me off. I wanted to know how they did it. And it's something called a JTAG. They weld or solder into their system. And it brings up a blue screen with a mod menu. And allows you to do anything with any game that's uploaded from the internet.
Yeah, but if they do too crazy, like this one person that I heard about
they'll get caught.
Was doing, you could see anyone on the map wherever they were. It would always show up in your radar and all that kind of stuff. It was too good of a cheat for them to miss. So like that account got banned and everything else. But then he just made another account and used a more difficult mod to trace. Is I guess what it's. Because, I mean, if you think about it, if it's messing with the programming of the game, if it's a modification that messes with the program of the game, it's easier for them to pick up.
It's actually fucking up the spawn or something, because they've said they fixed the spawning. Like, people will respawn and, like, kill you over and over again.
I've seen that. Well, it wasn't Modern Warfare. It was a Call of Duty, one of the Call of Duties. I don't know which. It was on Xbox One. So
it was probably Modern Warfare.
It wasn't the new one, though. Not the one that just came out.
Black
I know
Ops
that.
4?
No. Oh, is that the one that just came out?
No, the one that just came out is Modern Warfare.
So it had to be one of the Black Ops ones. I'm not sure which one it was. I know I wasn't very successful because I got what I don't know the term for it. Somebody I didn't get hacked, but they made it so you couldn't move and they would just go around and shoot everyone. And everyone on the map. And everybody was talking, and everybody reported the guy that was doing it. I mean, how do they keep up with that? I mean, how
they can't because the person
there's so many false reports. I think
is the person that's doing that. It's used with a lag switch, and they just have an internet cable that they've snipped a certain wire, which I don't know what it is, and literally put a light switch on it and turn it on and off as they're playing. Some of them have it wired to their controller.
And this is why I don't play a lot of new video games. Maybe it's just because I'm old. But
I have a slogan for whoever's running for president that's left: make Mario Kart great again. Because I love that game, and we should bring it back.
It's on the Switch.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't like the Switch.
Put it on Xbox One so we can
I don't like
play
it
on Xbox
Well, we
One.
It's like Sega Genesis. So we get like, oh, here's this little screen and the giant thing
Just
that
put
takes.
it on Xbox One.
I don't know.
It'll be
It doesn't
great
take 47
It
batteries.
hooks up to the
anymore.
TV, dude.
It hooks up to the TV now?
Yeah, it hooks up to the TV.
Yeah,
There's
but
a box
it's not a regular paddle though.
Yeah,
Yes,
we
I
bought regular
paddles.
Well, what the? We need to play Mario Kart.
We don't own Mario Kart.
Give me the fucking money and I'll buy it.
I got 5 on it for those who are
I got 5
old enough.
on it. Oh wait, can I sing
the
that?
reference.
I think that's
No,
copyrighted.
that's-
Sorry. We
It
might
was
have to
so,
edit that
it
out.
was so bad. His singing was so bad that they will never catch it.
Thank you very much.
Modern Warfare.
Ow, my toe.
I know a lot of young guys that are playing the sports games, which were
I hate
everybody
sports
hated them
games.
when I was a kid. Everybody hated them when I was a kid. And I was the only one that played them.
Except
and,
for NBA Jam.
well,
Oh
that was
God,
you're going
I
way
used
back.
to hate when you made me play football with you.
Yes, I love
That
the
is
football games.
such a terrible
more-
memory
they
that
were-
just came back in my head.
They were more and less technical because I like the play calling and the decision making and how you play the game, the tempo of the game mattered. And now I feel like it's more how fast and how hard you can slam the buttons. What is that called?
Button
Button
mashing.
Mashing the buttons.
Well, with what, sports or?
Sports, yeah, because like if you can like click Y 47 times a second, you're more likely to catch a pass or whatever. But I know a lot of guys that are playing the Madden and all that other stuff, and I wish I could get into it, but I don't. It's not.
You
it's
miss
not.
picking the plays.
When a video game, this goes out to all the young folk out there. When a game no longer becomes fun and it becomes too frustrating, put down the paddle and not through the TV screen. I know there's a lot of rage quitters out there, and I may have felt the sting of that at one point in my life. I'm not going to say that it was Donkey Kong Country.
But I'm also not going to say that it's not.
Dude, my friend Brandon used to go through Nintendo 64 controllers like nothing,
I have two
man.
broken controllers due to a video game.
No, put it down. Just put it down. Put it down and watch a YouTube video. Just put down the controller for 5 minutes. Watch a YouTube video. Listen to Hourly Awkward's podcast. You know, do something for a few minutes. Yes. I am all about self-promotion.
Which we may have some t-shirts coming soon, so if you want to place an order, just let us know.
But, yeah. Anyway.
They're $25 a piece.
Are they?
Yep. That's what we're selling them for.
Perfect. Oh.
What the fuck?
What happened to the screen? Okay, good. We're still recording. Sorry, we're having some technical difficulties here. I was worried for a second. I'm like, no! This is good stuff.
It's called sleep mode.
Bitch, this ain't no time for sleep.
We working.
Taking
Well.
care of business.
Dude, it's taking us so long to get this done between like me being sick and the weather being so shitty.
Which, by the way, influenza B is a bitch.
Yep, sent me to the hospital. Get your flu shots.
Fuck that.
I am pro-vaccination for everything besides flu, and there's an exception. That's the elderly and the young. It's
And the Donnies.
extra
And me.
precautions. But as a younger person that can handle getting ill, your body gaining antibodies from a natural source is better. But I'm from the generation that got dunked in the tub when my brother got chicken pox. I needed to get it too. So
They
Emily
dunked
was
you in
the
the
only-
tub?
pox party.
Yeah,
I
pox
got
parties.
They
I
dunked you in a tub?
no,
No.
they put.
They make you
well,
get chicken
my
pox.
brother had chicken pox, so it wasn't
They
like we
took a
called
bath
everyone in the neighborhood.
together.
But they
Yeah, that's
they
not-
threw me in the bath with my brother. I was a kid. We were kids.
Thank
Come
God
on.
for that.
If one's gonna itch, you have to itch
okay,
together.
Okay, all right. This is probably a combination between my age and how things were. But back then, I was probably 4, which would make him 6.
Yeah.
So it's not like you know we were 15 years old, not fitting in the tub together. It was a long time ago.
It's 2 teenage boys in a tub. That's my rubber ducky.
This is not some weird thing.
That's just
We're off the rails again.
Donnie.
Way off the rails.
Sorry. So that was a pox party would be you called everyone in the neighborhood. You had all your friends come over
Have a few
because
beers.
little Johnny got chicken pox, and now the whole neighborhood's getting chicken pox. They would do that, and I don't know.
Worst present ever.
Yeah, I'm not sure that it was for the best, but I can tell you that I am one of very many that survived that time period.
That just sounds
So,
like some weird cult
Anyway,
thing.
I'm pro vaccination, even for chickenpox. You know, chickenpox is one of those things that you're gonna end up having to get a shingles vaccine when you get old anyway.
Well, our little
but-
sister had never gotten the chicken pox, so she had to get the chicken pox vaccine.
Yeah, so chickenpox vaccine, yeah, that's a thing now, and everybody gets it, and so no one is going to know what the heck a pox party is, and I apologize.
I hope the
It's
world
like
never
dial-up internet.
knows that screeching
Okay.
sound. Oh God. Waiting 20 minutes for just a picture to load up on a fucking screen.
Forget dial-up internet.
Morgan,
I
do
would
you
melt
rem-
that screen with a
Do
blowtorch.
you don't remember dial-up
You
internet?
don't. No, you don't remember
I
dial-up.
do remember it, but I didn't play games on it because I would melt the screen with
You
a
didn't.
blowtorch.
The only thing you could play was
You-
Neopets.
Yeah.
Okay. And then
And
it was.
fucking Neopets was amazing.
Yes, Neopets was good for its time.
I still have an account. Fuck you.
It's one of those things. I think everyone had a Neopets. I was probably too old for Neopets.
I didn't have Neopets. I was definitely too old for it then.
Well, I think you guys got it. And then I was
that
like, hey.
Or Barbie.com.
Now, you might make fun of Neopets from back in the day, but just think about the games that you download on your phone now are no different than those mini games that they had in Neopets, okay?
Dude, my favorite game on Neopets.
Go spend $1,000 a year on Candy Crush, and I will play Neopets for free.
Is that the thing where you go? Is that where you go buy the stuffed animal with the code on it?
No, that's WebKids.
Neopets was just this website, and you would go on it, and you would get like a Pokemon sort of thing, and then as you played these mini games, you could level up your character. As you leveled up your character, you could take them to battle, and I mean, I just played the mini games. Mm. They were fun. It was like Elf Bowling and stuff.
There was Elf Bowling. I liked. There was a game where it was like like Whack-A-Mole, except it was with the creators.
There was tons of games, like all the little games that we get on our phones. Well, I mean, not the.
They still have them. Like these are a bunch of their games.
I just want to point out, if anybody hears like this weird jingly sound in the background, it's a little dog with his dog collar.
It's just Miley. Just ignore her. She's a good girl.
There's also guinea pigs, so if you hear a wee, it's not me.
It's Donnie.
It's Donnie.
It's Donnie. That's his thing.
He's dipping his balls in soy sauce.
I can taste it.
And we've come full circle.
On that note, have a great night.
Hey Morgan, you got any soy sauce?
Unfortunately.
You could have lied and said no. You just want to see if you can taste soy sauce with this nutsack, don't you?
I'll dip it in your mouth, see if you can taste it.
That's sick.
We'll have to live stream that.
No.
This is not.
Wait, it's not teabagging. It would be soy bag. Like what?
This is. We have gotten way too personal.
Well, that's why it's called outwardly awkward. Honey, you picked that name perfectly.
Thank you.
All right, so. So is that where we're ending it today?